Here we are at exercise 6. Again, typing more code in. And again, make sure you read the exercise. I'll get right down to it. This one is showing you even more fancy stuff to do with strings. One of the reasons why I cover a lot of strings is a hell of a lot of programming is done with strings. It's all about strings. And a string, just in case you haven't been reading the book, which you should be, is any text between two quotes or a single quote. There's other ways to do strings in Python, but these are the two most common. And the thing that you'll find out if you do a lot of programming is a lot of what you do is actually just processing and using strings. Nothing you can do about it. You just have to deal with strings. So I'm making you learn a lot of it because after you get past this part, it gets a little easier. But without this very basic fundamental, you're not going to figure it out. Okay. Again, I have my text editor open, ready to go. You see I have ex6.py down there, and now I'll type it in. Okay, typed it in very fast. Let me double check that I did it right. Oh, I didn't actually. Look at that, missed a line. Again, starting from the bottom catches a line. Going back through. Oh, see, there's another error. I will fix this. Remember, you have to type it in exactly. Okay, I'll run this, and then I'll walk through it, and I'll explain it a little bit. Okay, seems to be working. Now, this one's got a lot going on. It's mixing variables, it's mixing some addition of strings, like math with strings. It's very strange. So the key things to understand are you can put strings inside strings. So that's what the %s is doing with binary and do not, those two do not variables there. You can just print the variables. So you can put strings inside strings and assign that to a variable. It's sort of like adding numbers together, but instead you're like formatting the string and assigning it to a variable. So that's what X and Y are. You can use this new format called %r. %r is sort of like saying the real representation of it, exactly what Python thinks it is. This is really handy for debugging, so I have you do a bunch of this because I use %r for quite a lot of output. It's a good way to print something out safe and is useful when you're trying to debug programs and you spend a lot of time debugging programs. Then I have where I can take a new kind of thing called false. You've seen this variable printed out. This Boolean type is what it's called. But it's just true or false. It's just, something's true or false. And then again, I do a %r to put the true or false in there. And then after that, I do an evaluation similar to when you've been doing the prints with the %sign with the format character, but I'm using a left-hand side that's a variable and the right-hand side. Study that. That could be like a brain warp. You could get really crazy with some of this stuff. And finally, I show that you can add two strings together. So you can actually take a left side and a right side. I just named them W and E for no reason. And then you can do plus, and Python will concatenate them. All right, so study this. Try to understand what's going on. really take your time on this one and really focus on the common student questions, because there's quite a few for this one. And also make sure you do the study guide or the study drills. All right, next up, exercise 7, more printing. This one gets a little more involved.